right, hello my most amazing artists. Today we're going to add value and form to our polar bears. And so value is the lightness and darkness of a color, and form is when something's three-dimensional or goes back into space. And right now our polar bear looks really flat, really two-dimensional, and it has good shape. So we're going to take our black oil pastel and we're going to give this polar bear a little bit of form. So we're going to do that by outlining our outline with black oil pastel. I know that sounds crazy, but I want you to outline this in black Sharpie so I could see it really well when I looked at it a couple weeks ago. But now we need to add the black oil pastel. So I would work from the top down. I'd push your sleeves up. The black is going to get a little messy, if you remember from when we did our tigers. So we're just going to go around. And we kind of want to put a nice thick coating. So we're kind of going right on top of our outline and just drawing a thicker line, trying to stay inside that black outline if we can, but do your best. My black oil pastel has broken over the week. I've been using oil pastels in lots of classes. So do your best to maybe just go right on top of it around the ear because we don't want to close it. I might actually just color my ear in black there. Going around my head. I'm going to color that in black. Go around my face. I'm going kind of fast because I don't want you to sit here and get bored with me. But you're going to take your time, and we really want to make that oil pastel feel slick and creamy when we do it. We don't really have to do anything around our eyes, but we're going to go around our little nose, the muzzle, too. And there's places where my oil pastel kind of got really thick, and that's going to be okay. I don't love it, but that's the problem when you work with it. It sometimes has a mind of its own, and I'm not going to let that bother me. So I just really want to make sure I have all my lines covered in oil pastel. If you get crumbs, don't worry about it. Even my little claw marks I'm going to do. Okay, and I have one last thing. Okay. So now my hands aren't really messy, but you really want to just pick one finger to work with now. And I'm going to work at the top and I'm going to come down. And what we're going to do is we're going to smear the oil pastel. I'm pushing kind of hard and I'm pushing straight down and you're smudging it. And when you start to smudge it, it gives that illusion of shadow around the edges. And if you don't feel like you're getting a lot of smudge, which I don't feel like I'm getting, I'm going to go back and I'm going to color a little harder until it's really thick and creamy. I'm going to try again. Yep, that works a little better. So we want to build up that line and give it a little smudge. And it's okay to bring your smearing out into your bear a little bit because it's going to give it some shadow. And if we're curving our fingers, it kind of gives it that illusion that it's round. And I know I'm shaking my table and I'm sorry for that. So it's not going to smear super, super dark. It's going to be really subtle like a shadow. So let me pull my paper closer to you. So you can see it now. It's really subtle, kind of like a shadow. So see how this is kind of looks a little shadowy here and really white here. And that's the difference we're going for. You can keep trying to bring it down and smear it thicker. But we really just want that hint of shading. And we're going to do that along the top. And again, if you're not getting a really good smear, you can always recolor. If your finger's getting tired, you can take a break. So I'm really trying to pull and smear that down. And maybe pushing in helps too. You decide what works best for you, but we're going to push or pull that oil pastel down, always going in like a vertical or a horizontal. We don't want to go too crazy. So I didn't color heavy enough over here, so I'm going to recolor. Yep. See, well, sometimes when you push, that goes a little bit better. And you can kind of make it look like it's going around a little bit. So I'm kind of pushing in a curved motion to kind of get that shadow. And sometimes you're going to get little pieces that come out like that because it gets on your finger in weird areas, and that's okay. So then I'm going to pick a side of my face, and I'm going to try and smear out around the edge of my neck so it looks like there's a shadow under there. So I'm just kind of rubbing against the side of my bear's thing. I don't have enough oil pastel. It's funny, when you want it to make it mess, it never does, but when you don't want it to, it always does. Isn't that the way? So we're just trying to make it look like there's shadow or something going on behind it, and it gives it that illusion that our bear is kind of going back into space. You always want to pull down. I'm getting little pieces. This would work really good with chalk, but we didn't take chalk home. So we're going to do our oil pastel trick. This gets a little messy. We're going to go around your ears. Really thicken that line up. And really bring that shadow out. Rubbing on the oil pastel, which I know I tell you never rub oil pastel. Well, now I'm telling you to rub the oil pastel. So I'm rubbing against the oil pastel and I'm kind of bringing it out. That seems to be working really good. Okay, so you can see how it's getting a little bit of a shadow. Maybe. I know it's hard on my light. So see, you're getting that little bit of a shadow around everything. So you'll want to do that around your muzzle and around your feet. And we're going to keep doing that until our polar bear is done. And I'm not going to sit here and make you watch me do it. I'll take a picture when it's done when my lighting is better. I have a lot of light coming in from my window, I think. So we're going to keep smudging and making our polar bear look like it has some shadow and some dimension. And then after we clean our fingers, which is desperately going to need to happen soon, we can figure out the background. So you can do the background in a couple different ways. You can take oil pastels that you have, you can take crayons or you can take markers, and you can design your very own background around your polar bear. You can carefully cut out your polar bear and be done that way too, and just have your polar bear there. You can cut out your polar bear and glue it onto another colorful piece of paper. There's lots of different options. I might just take some crayons and color like some purpley or blue skies, but we can talk about that on our live class. So what I really want to see when we're all done is that you try to give that illusion, and this might be hard to show with a picture, and that's okay. So we're just going to, around every black line, we're going to pull down some of that pastel to give that shadow and that shading to change the value of the paper. And that's what I'm really looking for, that we were able to kind of play with it, really get in there and get messy and see the difference. And on this one, we go up, we want to go up into the bear. Okay, so you really wanted to see the difference between the not smudged and the smudged, and that's kind of hard to see on my camera. I'll take a clear picture when I don't have such bright sunlight. And anything worse, you just take a picture just like this. If you'd like to decorate the background with crayons and markers, you can. If you like to cut out your polar bear, you can do that too and turn it into a card. You can do lots of different things. So when you're all done with your polar bear, decide how you want to finish it, take a picture, and that's it for art. And I will see you guys after the new year. I will see you on your live class. So you just need your oil pastels, maybe some crayons, it's up to you. And I'll talk to you guys later. I'm going to finish this and put up a picture on the assignment, and then we're done. Later, guys. Goodbye, my most amazing artists.